MaryAnne Williamson. For me, she gets the award for the most entertaining in the evening. She was, frankly, the most full of contradictions in both content and delivery, kind of full Jekyll and Hyde mode, and she would pivot on a dime in the middle of the sentence. There were a couple of points where she started out really well, and frankly, I was surprised and impressed that she was that clear, concise, insightful, rational, and true. And then suddenly she'd shift gears and I'd go, okay, wait, where did that come from? And oh my goodness, where are we going with this? She started well, stating that things like current pharma prices are so high because the U.S.'s government set a deal without any provision to negotiate prices, and how this is part of the regular corruption. That's how multinational corporations have their way with us. I thought, okay, that's a good quote. But then she suddenly shifted gears and she says, so, it's really nice that we have all these plans, but if you think we're going to beat Donald Trump with all these plans, then you've got another thing coming. And she's suddenly attacking all of the other people. She goes, he didn't win with a plan. He just said, make America great again. We have to go deep, not superficial. And I'm going, who is this person and where did she come from? And I don't understand what you're praising versus what you're criticizing. Is make America great again better than the plan? Which one is superficial and which one is deep? And I don't know where she was going. It was just sort of this stream of consciousness, random tirade. And, where she'd started to get some really solid footing, she lost it completely. The second contradiction was with regard to refugee children. She made a great, really tight, pithy point in the beginning about how the fact that we've been forcibly removing children from their parents in any other context would be considered kidnapping, and putting them into detention centers that inflict chronic trauma would be viewed as child abuse and should be viewed as such, regardless of the fact that this is the government that is mandating these actions. That I thought was powerful in its analysis. But then again, she shifted on a dime, started talking about healthcare, and looked at the rest of the panelists with a broad accusation and said, well, where have you been, guys? And then went on to a whole other tirade about that. And I'm going, she just shifts gears from this extremely poised, very authoritative, very clean and impressive sounding person to like, oh my gosh. And I just think, okay, the melodrama needs to go. And she did it a third time, switching again from a moment of that poignant clarity into abstract fluff. Again, she didn't have any sound bites specifically, but she did, interestingly enough, reinforce my point about how sound bites ideally should have a what by when concrete outcome. This is something I said in my previous video. She didn't say that specifically, but she demonstrated it by mentioning that John F. Kennedy had said that as an illustration of what she believed their campaign promises needed to illustrate was something concrete, inspirational, and aspirational, in that Kennedy had said, we're going to put a man on the moon by the end of the decade. Great example. But then again, she just switched gears and she starts talking in these grand literary terms and grand literary dramatic voice about how John Kennedy was from the era that included great dreams and great plans, and how her career has not been built on making political plans, but on harnessing the inspiration and the excitement of people. And I just thought, again, okay, what? So you're telling me you'd be a better president and policymaker because you're the only one who has no experience making policy? You're just going to inspire people with dreams and what? So again, she's a poem maker, not a policy maker. Her only consistency was her inconsistency, and that's not going to win votes. So I predict that she'll be the first one summarily exiting stage left from this particular group.